All right, welcome guys to the SPS live talk show,
Right, I'm
episode
Ben.
4. I'm Dominic here.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to the SPS live talk show. It is our pleasure to have you here with us on a Friday afternoon, especially when the weekend is coming, so as to prep you for the weekend if you're going to the field.
Yep, so we're going to start with some recap of the previous event that just ended, the SPS 500 Open Division, Division 3
That's right. So we want to show you
event 2.
the final standing for SPS 500 League 2.
Yep, so starting with Division 3. We start with the events first before we go to overall settings.
Yeah, sure. Let's go for the event results. Okay, so here you can see the event results. Skin has won the event number 2 of the SPS 500, and followed by Outlaws Uprising, Auto Squad coming in 3rd, and as well as Hellions 1 coming in the 4th position. So I just want to talk a little bit about Skin. Now, Skin has been pretty amazing. In fact, they were one of my dark horse. I wouldn't even call them dark horse. They are one of my favorites to qualify probably for every of the semi-finals in the SPS 500. I mean, I've put my chip on them in event 1, but these guys, they didn't fare as well. But for League 2, they make a strong comeback, and in fact, they went undefeated for the whole entire event.
Yes, well done, the Skin.
Yeah, amazing play, and not only that, they have picked up a couple of pretty strong players in the likes of Abdullah, and I think Iskandar also played very well. And of course, how can we forget about KHAIRUL, who was the eventual MVP
Yes.
for the SPS 500 event number 2.
Yep. So we jump into the MVP KHAIRUL video.
Sorry, you have to say something. You cannot be just saying yup and then that's it.
Yeah, I think Skin definitely did fantastic. I don't think it's is easy, competing the entire tournament without losing even one game. And I think in the video that we will see later, KHAIRUL mentioned that it's actually 8 years since they actually got a champion. So it's definitely possible. That there are some teams out there that don't win a champion for a long time, but it's definitely possible to come back. Have that will and that strength to continue playing and pushing on and keep as a team. There's only one champion in every event, and it's definitely possible to come back.
In a short while, we will also have a short little clip of KHAIRUL, just right after the event, where we interviewed him and asked him for some of the things that he has been doing right on the event day. So let's now go into the Open Division results for SPS League number 2. So these are the results. As you can see, Outlaws Singapore continue to win the event. They have won it in event number 1, so they have continued this run to still being there in the top position. Following which we have Hellions SG. I think Hellions SG played a very solid game as well. Not only are they working together, but they were very defensive. And this time round, they have gotten a little bit more players. If you can remember from League 1, they were only playing with 5 towards the end of the tournament. So definitely it was taking a toll on them towards the end of the event. But I think this time round they have sorted it pretty well, coming back into League 2 with a stronger lineup, with more players being able to come out from the bench. And I also want to give credits to Lanun. So Lanun was not part of the podium finisher in the last event. But this time round, they have made a strong comeback to be placed in the 3rd position. I believe this is the furthest that Lanun has ever climbed, playing in a local event, especially in the open division of the SPS 500. I mean, for a first-year team playing in the open division, this is indeed very amazing and good results. PSP Asawan did pretty well as well, coming in 4th, and unfortunately, or fortunately for Tanjong Pagar Red Sevens, who came in 2nd, are now falling down in rank, and they have sealed the 5th position.
Yeah, hats off to Lanun for for being for playing open division this year, and definitely climbing up the ranks, starting from all the way at fifth position and now third in this second event. And definitely Outlaws SG will be running for the overall series champion, because they've already won 2 event champions, and definitely there's a high chance of them winning the third.
Yeah, I think it's
And
almost 90% sealed that they are going to win the overall series champion. But I also want to talk about Lanun, because Lanun had Port Sun from Malaysia, who was part of the Demons team a long time ago, and he was a legendary player. When I first started playing, Port Sun was already playing, and back then he was playing for Actioners. So I believe with his knowledge of the game, he is able to compose the team a little bit better and add some form of leadership to Lanun, which is very important in a game of paintball, where
Yeah.
you always need one or two more experienced player to actually join your team. So for some of the teams who are playing within your team, I'm also sending out a very strong message to you to encourage you to get one or two guest players into your team, probably players who have played longer than you, who have had more experience than you, to come in and share their experiences. And obviously you can see that in the case of Lanun, the team has indeed benefited a lot from Port Sun's experience.
Yeah, and definitely in the higher divisions, there's with the more knowledge and more game experience you have, and the more points that you play, there's always a higher chance of coming back from a few games down and all that. So definitely experience come into play a lot.
All right, let's look into the overall standing at this moment. So for the overall standing in the SPS 500 Division 3, we are looking at Outlaws Uprising, even though they fell short against Skin in the finals. Because they have done very well in leg number 1. So these guys continue to be up there in the number 1 position. And following close behind is Skin with 14 points. So they are only 3 points apart from one another. I think Leg 3 will definitely see a more exciting matchup between these two teams. And if you can look closely in position 3, 4, 5th, and even 6, in the likes of Aces Origin, Raging Phoenix Revolution, Auto Squad, and League Side Jokers Asawan, they are very closely packed together with a difference of only 1 point. And it could be anybody's game. And for sure, if there are at least 7 or 8 teams coming in, I believe that there could be a chance that they can still have a little bit slim chance of overtaking Outlaws Uprising and even Skin coming into the last event of the year.
Yep, and then them being so close between scores, Lakeside didn't join us for this event too, but definitely they're still in the running to come up in points, and maybe not go up all the way, but yeah, definitely there's a chance.
Yeah, so unfortunately, League Side Jokers Aisawan was unable to join us for League 2 of the League number 2. So we definitely hope to see them coming back again for our last event,
Yep.
and that will be happening in the month of August.
Yeah, and definitely for Raptors as well from Brunei as well. Do come back. We hope to see you back here in Singapore for the event 3.
Right, and not only that, but a big shout out to all the teams out there who wants to give SPS 500 a go. We still have a final event in the month of August. So if you are interested to come by to try out the SPS 500, given that you have seen all the publicity and all the marketing efforts that we have done, and you would like to come and partake in this competition, you are more than welcome to join us for our last event.
So we move on to open division standings.
Yes, the open division standings. Now, in the open division standing, it is pretty obvious that Outlaws Singapore is taking a really big lead against the rest of the other teams. Following close behind will be Hellions, 3 points away, which also mean that they need to be ranked higher than Outlaws in 3 positions more coming into the last event. So that will be difficult. You have to perform well. At the same time, you have to hope that Outlaws Singapore basically have a unlucky day on the final event, which I pretty doubt so. But again, this is paintball. You never know what's going to happen. Right. And Tanjong Pagar Red Sevens coming in third with 5 points. Following wing, they have Lanun in 4th, and of course PSP Aisawan in the 5th position. And in the SPS 500 open division, we have only six teams at the moment. But once again, you never know what will come in the last event, and we are opening up to teams from around the Asia Pacific to come and join us for this one-day event. It's going to be pretty fast. You won't be expending a lot of paintballs because we're using the 500 format. And I believe in Malaysia, just about a weekend ago, they also organized a 500 tournament, and that's organized by Rascal Sports. And some of the players have got very good comments and experience about the event. And it's a one-day event, so it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, it's going to be cost-saving. And not only that, you get a lot of decent games from the local teams, as well as good coverage of your event.
Yep, there's a live feed as well. So if you're overseas coming in, your supporters from back home will be able to tune in and watch the games and see how you progress through the games, and definitely support you.
Right. Now let's look into the video of the interview that we have taken with KHAIRUL Anwar from Team Skin, who was nominated or voted as the MVP for the last SPS 500 event too. So let's look at the interview. So the video was replayed, and yeah, this is just a short interview of for KHAIRUL. I actually I didn't think he replayed. Yeah, there's no sound. So technical error. Just pardon us for a while. We're going to show you the clip once again. Why don't you play the music? Got KHAIRUL music, right?
Wait, I didn't mute on mic. Okay, sorry for that. I think there's still no audio. If there's someone in the chat that can tell us the confirm, or there's no voice coming out from the video. Okay, let me just double check this.
Okay, never mind. While Dom is sorting this out, we'll just want to move on. Sorry for the technical error. Sometimes, it's just Murphy's Law or the lack of preparation. So pardon us for that. We're just going to move on to talk about the GI Sports Singapore Cup 2017 that's up and coming. Now, at this moment, the registration is still open. In fact, for teams who have not submitted your registration, you have 2 more days to do so. And once the registration is closed for the early bird registration, you will have to be paying for the normal fee. So at this moment, you have 2 days for teams who have already signed up but have not completed your payment. You have 2 days to complete the payment. and the first 8 teams from each division will still get a 50% discount off the registration. So please hurry up and sign up. Okay, just want to also run through the number of teams that are have already signed up onto APA. There are a total of 25 teams that have already signed up. In Division 1, we have teams coming pretty much from the Asia Pacific region. From Australia, we have Raw Empire, and then we probably have a team of Australian playing under the name of KTM Expo, and those guys are coming in really strong. And of course, in Malaysia, we have the Rascal Malaysia, as well as the NL Draco Waxes, which is also the Nemesis Legion, probably a combination of a couple of players from the Waxes Legion as well. And of course, in Thailand, we have Team Aisawan. Aisawan last played in the Asia Pacific, ASEAN Pacific, ASEAN Paintball Championship. So that event was held in Malaysia. ASEAN came, and I think they had a shortage of players, and they were only playing with probably like 5 players. So for this round, we're hoping that maybe we can see the likes of a full team. And I know that they have been practicing hard. You've been following them on Facebook. You know, you can see that those guys are putting in a lot of drilling on the field. And of course, let's not forget that our Singapore representative, we do have a team from Singapore that will be fighting really hard in in the Division 1, and they are Hellions. So Hellions, you know, a good shout out to you, and hope that you guys are putting in all the hard work so that you can really taste the sweetness of the fruit when the event comes.
Yep. The last time the Raw Empires were here for PAL Singapore, they actually won champion in Division 1, so definitely they'll be a team to watch out for. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup within all these Division 1 teams, and definitely a good showdown is going to be happening. So shout out to any other Division 1 teams out there. Do come join. It's going to be an intense fight, and not to mention that the prizes that Division 1 get, they get a free entry to NXL USA in the November, if I'm not wrong. Yes, yes, and also paints is also will be sponsored by GI Sports. So definitely, if you're looking to go to the US to play a game, this is the only opportunity, or the most great opportunity that you have. You know, compete in our game, in our event, GI Sports Singapore Cup 2017, and win a free entry and registration and paints for NXL 2017.
Right. I also want to talk about the Division 2 teams. So not only the Division 1 team will have international teams coming to play in Singapore, there are also a good mixture of teams coming from Asia for Division 2. We have from Malaysia, the Cannon Wise guys. I mean, Gooch and Poison, and you probably see a couple of probably Chief might be coming down to Singapore as well. And we have Global Guards from the Philippines. The last time we saw them, they were a powerhouse, and they have played in the last 2 events of the PAL Singapore. So this will playing in Singapore will not be something that's unfamiliar to them. And I'm sure these guys will come in and put in a really good fight. And of course, from Indonesia, we are also looking at Medan Smokers Aisawan. So a team led by Danny and Rizal, and a couple of the Indonesians, Nicholas, you know, and I'm sure Kelby, of course, and I'm sure these guys are coming in really hot. And Division 2 is something that they are very familiar with. You know, they have had a good outing in last TPOC, final leg of the TPOC. That was the TPOC International in Phuket. So it'd be good to see them again coming out of Singapore to give our local boys a fight for their money. And of course, in our local scene, all our open division teams, except for Hellions, will also be participating in the Division 2.
Shout out to Global Guards who made the PB Rex pens famous, and we have them at our official paintball pro shop as well, Paintballers World. Do check them out. The PB Rex pens. I've seen the actual product, and they're fantastic. Actually, they're very good products. So yeah, Division 2 is lineup is going to be pretty intense battles there as well. Moving on to Division 3. Division 3, we have one Indonesian team, Octo Squad. Octo Squad will be playing in Division 3. And for Singapore, we have Alethea SG, Outlaws Uprising, Skin, Titanium, and Alliance 1. Right, so we have a total of 6 teams. In Division 3, there's 2 slots left. If you're thinking of joining, 2 slots left. Registration closes on this Sunday for early bird discount. So definitely sign up and complete your payment, and then you can enjoy the discount.
Okay, we just want to move on from the SPS, sorry, the GI Sports Singapore Cup 2017. We actually have a video that we have taken of Oliver Lang, and we interviewed him, and there were a couple of questions as well that he has answered. But unfortunately, due to the technical error, we are unable to show you the video. So don't worry too much. We will have it posted and uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. But just want to run through some photos that were taken at the Oliver Lang Clinic, and I have had the pleasure of attending one of his clinic. Now, for those guys who are unaware, this is the second time that Oliver is in town in Singapore. In 2015, he was here for one of our event as well, and during that event, he actually ran a clinic, and that was a clinic that was organized mainly for players, for them to understand the basic fundamental skills of diving, sliding, and snap shooting. But for this round, Oliver has come in to enhance his program a little bit. He has gone into the wellness and human development of how paintball can actually coincide with your mind, your spiritual, and basically the mindset and thinking. So I believe he is going to Malaysia this weekend. So for those guys who are in Malaysia, you guys are in for luck, because Oliver is going to come in, and if you have not signed up, please sign up with Gary. And not only that, for Asia teams who are also keen in having Oliver down at your place, please kindly drop me an email, or drop us a message, and we'll happily link you up with Oliver. And for a very small fee and a very decent fee, very reasonable fee actually, he will be there with your teams to run the drills, and he can also not only be there once, he's already planning to stay in Asia for long, so at least for the next 1 year, and with that he can continuously come and visit the teams to check out on the progress of the team. So if you are interested, just drop me a message and I will help to link you guys up for the Oliver Lang team training.
Yep. If you go on to SPS Singapore Paintball Series Facebook page, Ben did some teaser videos as well to kind of take some bits and pieces of here or there. Oliver Lang is really a down to earth guy. He's really here to see how he can improve the Asian scene, and yeah, definitely if you get the opportunity to join him in his training, go for it.
Okay, we want to give you a highlight of the GI Sports Singapore Cup layout as well. So it has not been published. If you are watching here, with us watching this live show, this is the first time we are showing the layout. So for those guys who are not watching the show, unfortunately, you lost quite a little bit. But for those guys who are tuning in, here's a teaser for you. So this will be the layout that we will be using for the GI Sports Singapore Cup 2017. As you can see, this is actually layout number 8 of the WPBO layout. So it will be, once again, layout number 8.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. So for those guys who want to download, you can visit our Facebook page in a short while. Right after this program, we will actually post and publish the layout on our Facebook page. So just to give it another different angle as well, just looking at the snake, it seems a little bit complicated to play. And looking at 4 mini Ws crowding together to give you a lot of coverage on the snake 50s. So you never know, right? So this will be the layout that we will be using for our GI Sports Singapore Cup 2017. All right, and lastly, we also want to do a shout out to some of our sponsors, and they are
ActiTape. ActiTape is the official. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get this correct. Kinesiology tape, yeah, sports tape basically.
Kini what?
yeah. So the official tape, sports tape, and then they'll be sponsoring sample tapes for all our participants, and definitely if you come to attending this event, you definitely get a sample of this tape. This tape, let me read out here. ActiTape is the most advanced elastic therapeutic tape in the market, providing support to joints and muscles and enhancing sport performance without affecting range of motion. Yes, so they'll be sponsoring some sample tapes for all attendees, and Division 1 champion team will also get a ActiTape handy set. Yes, this handy set, if I'm not wrong, comes with the tape, demo DVD, and also a pair of ActiTape scissors.
Okay,
So
can you
definitely.
pronounce again the word? Come on, we're waiting for you, Dom.
All right, give it another shot. Finesse
Okay,
solology.
let's move on to our next sponsor. We have Elite Sports Therapy as well. So for those guys who are who have been around and participating in paintball for the last many years in Singapore, I just want to do a shout out to Dr. Ng for Ed Ng for being so generous with his sponsorship and always being out here for the teams, giving them muscle rub and injury rub down whenever possible during the games. I mean, if you have been playing and participating in the SPS event, you will see that they are always there for you, and they will actually help you to give you good advice on muscle injury as well as sports recovery. So once again, Elite Sports Therapy, thank you so much for coming in again. Please give them your support.
Yes, definitely. If you have the samples and you're not sure what to do with them, do visit Elite Sports Therapy. They will be at the event doing sports taping and muscle rub down. So yeah, you can learn from them how to use the sports tape.
Okay, and lastly, the last part of today's program, we just want to put out this little teaser and a little bit of putting a little bit of thoughts into how we can conceptualize uh, this small little event that we're going to run or small little activity that we're going to run to create awareness for paintball in Singapore. So for those guys who have been following our Facebook this morning, you have seen that we have actually posted a little small advertisement about the East versus West game. So for those guys who didn't catch a glimpse of how this poster looked like, it's basically a small little project that we're running, East versus West. Now, of course, there were some players who actually mistaken it for a
Like a big game.
big
Yeah.
game, that we have been organizing in the past many years. We are the people who are behind organizing big games as well as running speedball games. So probably there are some confusion. But in the likes of SPS, anything pertaining to SPS are always done in a speedball manner. So East and West basically it's it's a competition that we would like to organize to get players within the community to recognize players in their own rights as good, excellent players, and have them come out together to play on an annual basis to have a rivalry between the East and the West. And of course, at this moment, everything is on a drawing board. We have not come out
Yes.
with what we want to do. We don't exactly know what you want. We have no idea on what format we want to do. But we just thought that it is something that we can do to create publicity for paintball in Singapore. I mean, wouldn't you like to be selected as part of the all-star East team to play against the West team if you are staying in the East, or even if your team belongs to the eastern part of Singapore? So do send us your feedback and suggestion
Mm-hmm.
to see how we can actually make this event a reality for everyone in Singapore, and most importantly, to create awareness for paintball.
Yep. So definitely comment in that post. Rather than asking us what's the format and how do we distribute East West, give us your suggestion.
Yeah,
Tell
just
us
tell us what you want.
tell us what you want. Whether you want a 10-man, you want a 7-man, you want a 3-man, East versus West, or how about North South East versus West kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let us know if you can come up with the players. Definitely, the more groups and the more fun it's going to be.
Or even simply cut the Singapore map into half, and if you're staying on the eastern side, you belong to the east. If you're staying on the western side, then you belong to the west. But then again, how do we know whether you're staying on the east or west? So
Yeah.
that's a difficult part when it comes to selection.
Yep.
So there must be some form of basis. Probably have you been associated to the eastern side because majority of your players from your team are staying in the eastern side. So you know you consider your team as the as part of the eastern side, even though you are from the west. So that might be something that we are also toying around with.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Do we want teams to mix, or do we want to still see the same teams?
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Okay, so even you had a different understanding. So just to clarify, this is actually a small little project that we have, and the aim of doing this is to create awareness within the paintball community. I'm sure some of you who have been playing paintball for many years didn't actually recognize or know your rival who are playing with you on the same on an actual field. So the point of us creating this East and West is to create iconic members, iconic players from within the community, so that we can do some form of poll selection to decide who we want to be playing in the eastern side. Of course, there are some criteria that we have to put in place. Maybe selection of certain back players because they have been performing very well for their team. You know, selection of a few star snake players that you want to see them representing the eastern side. You know, and of course you want to see two very good snake players fighting head on against one another, and to proclaim who is actually the best snake player or who are the best back players. And this is actually an opportunity for us to showcase the capability of our players, and at the same time to foster link and bond within the community.
Yeah, so we are hoping that the teams will all mix up, and basically we're looking for the all-star East team and all-star West
Yes.
team to come and form that group and compete.
That's right. Okay, so with that, we are ending our episode 4. Unfortunately, today we are unable to showcase the videos, but I'm sure
So
the
sorry about
videos
that.
will be published on our Facebook page as well as well as on our YouTube page. We would like to see you give us comments about our live show. You know, anything that you want us to talk about on the show, please feel free to write to us, and we will try our best to feature some of your requests and make this Singapore community more wholesome. All right, so thank you for tuning in. This is Ben.
This is Dominic here speaking.
We'll see you next time in our episode 5 of the SPS 500 live show. See
Right.
you.
Bye.